Hi, I'm Darlene Carman, and welcome to the show. Umaimah Mendhro is the CEO of Vida, a fashion e-commerce company that offers artists and photographers a means to transform static, two-dimensional artworks into flowing, beautiful articles of apparel. She's with us today to explain how artists can participate in this exciting world of fashion. Hi.
Hello, Darlene.
Welcome to the show, and thank you for being here. It's nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me.
It's kind of hard to ignore the elephants in the room. So I thought we should start out and talk about how my painting got morphed into a living piece of workable art. So the first step, the artist has to upload images of their artwork to Vida. Then what happens?
That's absolutely right. So any artist can upload an image, and it could be a painting, that they take a photograph of, or it might actually be a photograph. It might be a sculpture. Once they upload that artwork, the artist can actually design the product themselves. They choose, whether they want it on a scarf, on a top, on a sheer wrap, and really design, what that beautiful piece would look like and how they should represent their creative vision that transforms into a piece of fashion and apparel.
How do they do that? There's a tool, a fashion tool or something. How do they do that?
Exactly. So we call it the design studio.
Yeah.
And you go there and you literally upload, you browse the files from your computer and you upload the image, and you will see it in real time in your computer. You will see it on a top, and then you can literally move the file. You can move it, so that if you have a flower, for instance, you can put it on the shoulder, you can put it over here, and you can also scale it down or scale it up. So you decide as an artist, how large you want that image to be. You can also decide what's in the front, what's in the back, and really design the piece, the way you envision it.
Wow. So that's all just moving it around.
Moving around, yeah.
And seeing what you would, that's really quite exciting right there, because to take a painting that's very clouds and so forth, from what I understand, you could take a portion of the painting. So let's say you had Venice, for instance. You could take just a portion of the scene and not the whole thing. That's what I find very exciting, that you could just manipulate. And you can just do that until your heart's content, until you find something you like, right?
That's exactly right.
And then what is this? It's an artist page, you call it. What happens next?
Yeah, so once you're happy, with what you've designed as an artist, you give it a name. You basically save it. You say, this is what I want it to look like. And we publish a page for you. It's essentially like we are creating a website for you. And on that website, the artist can have their profile photo, they can have their information, their bio, and each of their images that are all, presented on that page. That is the page that is the artist's own page, on the Vida site. It has its own website address that they can share with anybody, and that is their, their artist collection.
And is there a limit to how many designs they can have?
Not really. I mean, the limit is about 100 designs or so. So, we've had some people,
Wow.
some amazing artists reach that limit, and then, we help them with that. But the idea is that, this is really their space, and it's really, really easy to set up, and you don't have to be, technically savvy, or you don't need to know how to create websites or how to sell products online. You really can focus on your vision and your art, and we can do the rest.
Wow. Well, we were supposed to have the real deal here. We're supposed to have a sheer wrap with the painting of the elephant on the sheer wrap, but a little slip in the mailing didn't come today. It's expected at any moment, but it didn't come. So we're going to have to rely on pictures. So we have some pictures to show of the wrap, and this first one is showing a picture of the elephant there. It's another version that I did. I used digital magic, and it's another version of the elephant playing with her baby. So that is what really surprised me, is when Vida used both of the images for one piece. I wasn't expecting that. So a little digital magic, and you have the first one. Then the next one is showing the backside of this piece, the wrap. And this is the original version, and that is where the mom is playing and kind of teasing her baby with a flash of water. And so this is just a minor detail, but even the ear was, in the original painting was cropped off on purpose. And so the designer wanted me to send an image of the ear that's wrapped around the canvas. I thought that was pretty cool. So, tell me about the designers that designed this piece.
Yeah, so we worked very closely, with Darlene, and our small team of designers worked, with Darlene in creating this piece, especially, a colleague of mine, Galen, and he was really inspired, by that piece. And what he really wanted to do was, especially on the back side of that sheer wrap, he felt like that's a large canvas, and he really wanted to represent your vision in full, so show the full painting in the back. And then he thought in the front, he wanted to keep the pieces intact. So he thought, why don't I repeat it, and have them be symmetrical on both sides. So, I know our team was incredibly excited, to get to work with Darlene on that piece.
Well, thank you. We have some more designs from the elephant. That the wrap is what we just showed, but there's some other designs. Number 3, if we could have number 3, there, that one. So that was just kind of a practice one, or it was another possibility.
Exactly.
Really putting the elephant in your face. I thought that was outstanding. And then the back side of that, so a real close-up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And one of the things is that what we're doing is we're digitally printing. Once we talked about the collection page going live, once that happens, we're digitally printing these, and what we really wanted to do in this case is show how all the details, can really show through, and all the colors and the original colors from the painting.
It's amazing. And the next one, let's see, what do we have? A scarf, I think, is another version. So there is what it would look like if the elephants were on a scarf. So I just thought that was amazing to see all these different versions. And of course, you could do more, I guess, but that was quite a bit. So now the second painting is of roses. And we actually have a very lovely model, Kathy Keys, to show us this nice, converted it to scarf. And this painting is a lot smaller, and that's to show that you can have something smaller. You don't have to, you're not limited to size. And I love the way the colors came out. It's very, very close to, it's the same, really.
Yeah, we thought this piece was just absolutely fantastic. It's just breathtaking artwork, and we get to have the honor of presenting it on, on a scarf. This particular scarf is a 100% modal fabric, and modal is made out of beechwood. So it's a natural, man-made fabric that is made in a very environmentally conscious way. That is important to us, and it just feels beautiful, luxurious, right, Kathy? It feels like really soft, and just, it's an all-season scarf. But what we're really proud of is the amazing painting that, that it's showcasing.
It's very lightweight. It's very lightweight. You don't even know it's on. It's, Kathy, it's very lightweight, and it's just, and of course with her hair, it looks really, really
it looks
stunning.
Just gorgeous on her.
So thank you, Kathy. Maybe you'd like to put that on our guest.
Oh, I would love
that.
See, that's kind of what I was hoping, is that I get to wear the scarf. I've been eyeing it. So I just absolutely love this piece, especially if you're wearing, all black, which, many of us do, and it's just a beautiful statement piece, and just, the colors on this are so gorgeous, and just Darlene's, vision and work is absolutely phenomenal.
Well, it's exciting to me because, to me, the canvases are nice, but I just think that art is moving in another direction. I do attend a lot of art and wine festivals, and I try to keep a watch on what the art scene is like. And I hate to tell you, but I'm seeing less and less wall art. So I think I see a lot of jewelry and I see clothes. And so I think that people want to do something more. They just, a lot of times I hear they don't have room for large pieces and they want something else.
Yeah.
So do you hear anything about that on your end?
Yeah, no, that's what I think a lot of our artists get very excited about, is that it is a new avenue for them. You know, it's almost a new canvas, you know, and a lot of the times it is a painting that they already have, you know, but now you transform that painting into just a new form. And I think that's what is really exciting and inspiring for us as a company, is to bring art into our life in many, many different forms, you know, into our houses, into our spaces, into, you know, what we're wearing, how we're representing ourselves. You know, this piece, when I wear this, you know, back in the office, you know, I feel like it's gonna lift me up, and it's gonna, you know, make me feel just sort of unique and great. And I think that's, you know, what art can do for you. It's a story, and we want to bring that story and that piece of inspiration into our lives in many, many different forms, in addition to, you know, on the walls.
It's bringing a little bit of nature,
That's right.
you know, around you, which I always think is a good thing. And you can engage some of the senses. So a lot of people like me and many other people like roses, they think of the scent. And it's just a way of bringing nature around you close.
That's
Now, I watched I watched your TED Talk, and I watched a lot of your interviews and so forth. I find that your family's history is fascinating. And your story is wonderful, and you know how you got to where you are now. So could you recap some of that for us?
Yeah, so I mean, it is an honor, you know, absolutely, to be here today. I come from a very humble background, originally from Pakistan. My father was the only person who was educated. Growing up, there were no schools around. I didn't have access to, you know, formal education. You know, good part of my life, I would wake up and, you know, grab some books and read. And I think, you know, sometimes not having something, you know, really gives you the appreciation of that thing that you don't have. And I think I grew up with the drive and hunger to do more with my life, and to, you know, to be educated. So I had a dream to go to Harvard, and my other my other dream was actually to be an artist. I really, you know, it was just sort of a natural thing for me. I learned to paint, I learned to sculpt, you know, I did photography, but it was really hard coming from where I came from to believe that, you know, I could make a living being an artist.
Yeah.
So, you know, I kind of pursued this path of, you know, well, it was computer science, actually.
Harvard's
completely different. Yeah. And I really, you know, I really kind of wanted to I wanted to do something meaningful with my life. I felt like, you know, I wanted to grab the few opportunities that came my way and turn them into something that, you know, really matters. So yeah, I was lucky enough to, you know, make my way to the U.S. and, you know, get a great education, ultimately go to Harvard, and build this business where, you know, our hope is that we can give back to all that are a part of, you know, creating this product, from the artist whose original vision it is, you know, to the people who make these products with their hands, to the people who are bringing these products into their lives and feeling inspired, you know, every time they wear it.
What happened when you went home?
When I was young, when I was growing up.
After Harvard?
After Harvard.
After Harvard, and you went home. What happened?
You mean when I just traveled back to home?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, well, one of the things was that I actually, when I got into Harvard, I actually felt not quite as if I belonged there. You know, I was like, I don't know if I you know, really fit in here. I authentically, you know, just felt sort of uncomfortable, and I actually left, and I went back home. And I wanted to build a school in my home village, and you know, there was just this sort of one thought, which was that these are my cousins, this is my family. You know, we kind of share the same gene pool, and they must have the same drive, they must have the same, you know, intelligence, and I want to build that, you know, opportunity for them as well. I was at Harvard, and I had family that didn't know how to spell Harvard, And so, that was one of the things that really mattered to me, is that, build that, build something that can then last. And then I did do that. I started an organization, built our school, in my home village, and then I went back and I was like, I'll check the box
I read
and
something
get it
about a
done.
hospital. So your parents were both in the medical field.
That's
What
right.
happened with that?
Yeah, so my parents are both in the medical field. We actually grew up on top of the hospital that they built. My parents met at the medical school, and my mom wanted to go back to my dad's village and build a life there. And so, yeah, we lived on top of this hospital in the middle of kind of nowhere.
Wow.
But my mom, she's the one who's really instilled sort of this idea and this, this concept of wanting to give back. And she felt like she couldn't leave her patients, and they were traveling for days, to get to that hospital,
Wow.
which is why we ended up there, and
Yes.
not deserting them, yeah.
Well, I love your vision of wanting to build a corporation that helps and benefits everybody involved. So how do you give back to your factory workers?
Yeah, so that is really, really important to us, is to build it in a way, build products that are made in a beautiful way, and not, where the end product is beautiful, but the process of how it's made is also beautiful. So what we've done is, in our factories, we offer literacy programs. And we've completed these programs in Pakistan, where I'm originally from, where what we do is we train one person in the factory, and that person then teaches the entire factory, or we form small groups. And in 3 months, they learn to read, write, and do basic math. And the impact has been, actually, I would say beyond sort of what I was hoping for in some ways. I mean, there've been some surprises in that, I knew, I was hoping that they would feel the value, of being able to read, write. What I didn't expect is this one story where a father, told me that he had been working at that factory for decades. And the reason he does that is because he wants to be able to earn enough to send his kids to school. And his kids go to school, and his kids are getting, an education, but they don't speak the language that he speaks because they're educated. And he was like, because of this literacy program, for the first time now, I'm actually able to have a conversation with my children.
Wow.
So you don't realize, what the ability to actually have a conversation, and how it's tied to just basic literacy. Where our factory workers would tell us that they feel not lost anymore when they're walking down the streets. They feel like they can read the signs, they know where they're going, and that gives them a sense of purpose and direction in their life, as much as while they're walking on the streets.
Well, your company's still fairly new, isn't it?
Yeah, we're just about 2 years old. End of 2014 is when we started.
You've accomplished an awful lot in that short amount of time. So I think we have some pictures of the factory workers. Maybe we could see that, some of the pictures. You could tell us a little something about the factory.
Yeah, so these are pictures from our factory in Pakistan, indeed. And actually, the woman there is the trainer. We started off with an all-male factory, and which is very common, in Pakistan. And it's very different. We work a lot in India. We've worked in Sri Lanka, which is mostly all women in the factories. We're going in Turkey now. And so, we had a woman come in and, train the one person, and then he trained everybody else. But then we built a women's department. So now all our products are actually finished, by women, and they do the quality control. They do a great job.
Wow.
And then we just recently, launched the literacy program with the women as well.
Wow. Yeah, how many workers do you imagine that you have? Do you have any idea? How many workers do you have? Do you know?
Yeah, so in terms of overall factories, so those are the countries that we're in, about 15 factories that we work with. Many of our factories are actually very small, family-owned factories.
Yes.
So in any given factory, we would have 10 people, 12 people. It's, that's kind of what we love, is that these are people who really know their craft, many of them have been doing it for generations. It's, their mother or their father was a tailor as well, and now they're getting an opportunity to hopefully do more, for their families with the literacy program. And but yeah, small family-owned factories, across all these places. And then as far as our artists, we now have close to 50,000 artists.
Wow.
That
from
are
all
on
over
Vida.
the world,
From
right?
all over the world, yeah. So that's what's, what's exciting, because that was very important to us, again, is that, we get certain opportunities, but there's so many parts of the world where there's amazing talent, right?
Yes.
And they don't get that opportunity. So, talent is not really, it's not about where you live or what you have. It's what you have to offer
Yes.
to the world. So our artists come from over 150 different countries.
Wow.
Yeah, 2,500
And
different
for
cities
2
around the
years
world.
being in, that's not very long. So you really, that's telling you and showing you that the artists are very willing and wanting to do this sort of thing. And I think it's very exciting, because it's just another avenue. It also was such a learning experience, because this idea that you can move things, add things, subtract, you can move things around, so you can actually take one painting, and then if you have the skills, you can like change them and get different looks, and that's pretty nice, instead of starting all over from scratch.
Right.
So I guess that's that digital magic kind of helps out there.
That's right. That's right. The hope was that we can use technology to give and create these tools for the creatives of the world, to really empower them, to take their vision and be able to present it to the world, in any way that they want. That's really the idea. So we're focused right now on textile and apparel, but our vision is that we're the platform where a creative idea turns into beautiful products and stories.
So where do you see Vida in like 5 years from now? What do you see? I know that you have a lot of growth that you want to do, and I know that there's an awful lot that you're working on, and you actually have another corporation that you work with. So expand on that a little bit. What your vision is for 5 years from now, or is that too shallow? Should I say 10 years from now? What do you have that you want to keep going with this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we at the company are driven a lot by the impact that we're making, but the number of lives that we're touching in many ways. And so, when it comes to the artists and what we can enable for them, we look at, well, did they want to come back to us? Did they, if they did, one product line with us, what did we enable for them, that wasn't possible otherwise? So how are we making their lives better? And when it comes to the factories, we look at, well, if we can do this with a small factory, can we start to create something, a ripple effect, where, that value is shared in that local community? Can you build it, from a factory level now to a community level, now to a country level? I was in Pakistan when, because when I started, I knew I wanted to do something where we impacted, the people who are working in the factories, but it was something that one of the factory owners said, and he said, sadly, we don't have great quality. We don't do great quality because none of our factory workers are literate in Pakistan, in the country. And I was like, well, we got to change that. So, can we impact it at a country level? That would be kind of, that's the dream.
Wow. And as far as artists are concerned, is there any particular countries that you would say has a higher impact of artists, or anything that you've noticed, any observations that you have?
Yeah, vast majority of our artists are from here, from America, and from all parts of the nation, so East Coast, West Coast, everywhere across the country, which we're very, very proud of. We also do a lot of production work in the U.S. We do our printing in San Francisco, well, in California and close to LA, and Florida. So, we love sort of doing work here in our neighborhoods, and vast majority of our artists are from the United States. And then after that, Canada, UK, Europe is actually big for us. Yeah, a lot of our artists come from various parts of Europe, but then, we have artists from Africa, we have artists from Australia, we have artists from really all parts of the world. Australia is actually usually ends up in our top 5 countries.
So you were telling me that we have what, scarves, tops, and wraps.
Yeah.
And you told me there's going to be some more things coming up in the future. I heard pillows, throw pillows. Tell me about that. What are you seeing there for, what kind of line are you moving into? Or is this going to be another choice that artists can pick if they would like to do that? Or have you started doing that yet?
Yeah, so this is all upcoming. Good. We're announcing it here for the very first time. But yeah, we're very excited to offer the home line. So the idea is that you can have beautiful pieces in your home. And we're starting off with pillows. Those will be made in Turkey, where we're also hoping to do some really good work. And so that's our next space that we're coming in, but that's not the end of it.
more.
There's definitely more. There's definitely a lot more. Our idea is really that we are the platform where, you can go for beautiful, unique products that are made in a way that make a difference, make a positive difference, and that each tell a unique story, of inspiration that, comes from the original, creative that really imagined that product.
Wow. Well, I think it's very exciting. I want to thank you for letting me participate in this, because it's something I've always wanted to do, and I had no idea on how to go about doing it. It's not that easy to knock on a door and say, hey, I'd like to put my art on your clothes. So I want to thank you for doing that. I want to tell the people out there that are watching, especially you artists, please expand your horizons and always strive for something a little bit more, because you can do so much with your art and it makes the world go around. So you can check the website for details on the clothing, how to go about doing it, and also check out Umaimah's stories. They're really fascinating. Thanks for watching the show, and watch again.
Great.
Yeah. Don't do it while you don't have the music. So that's very exciting that you're expanding into